Then it came to pass, at the end of 2 full years, that Pharaoh had a dream, and behold, he stood by the river. Suddenly there came up out of the river 7 cows, fine-looking and fat, and they fed in the meadow. Then behold, 7 other cows came up after them out of the river, ugly and gaunt, and stood by the other cows on the bank of the river. But the ugly and gaunt cows ate up the 7 fine-looking and fat cows. So Pharaoh awoke. He slept and dreamed a second time, and suddenly 7 ears of corn came up on one stalk, plump and good. Then behold, 7 ears of corn, thin and blighted by the east wind, sprang up after them. But the 7 thin ears of corn devoured the 7 plump and full ears. So Pharaoh awoke, and indeed it was a dream. Now it came to pass in the morning that his spirit was troubled, and he sent and called for all the interpreters of Egypt and all its wise men. Thus Pharaoh told them his dreams, but there was no one who could interpret them for Pharaoh. Then the cupbearer spoke to Pharaoh, saying, I remember my sin this day, when Pharaoh was angry with his servants, and put me in custody in the house of the chief bodyguard. Both myself and the chief baker, we each had a dream in one night, both he and I. Each had a dream regarding himself. Now there was with us a young Hebrew servant of the chief bodyguard, and we related our dreams to him, and he interpreted them for us. And it came to pass, just as he interpreted for us, so it happened. He restored me to my office, but he hanged him. Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they brought him quickly out of the dungeon. And he shaved, changed his clothing, and came to Pharaoh. Thus Pharaoh said to Joseph, I had a dream, and there is no one who can interpret it. But I heard it said of you that you can understand a dream, to interpret it. So Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, It is not in me. God will give Pharaoh an answer of peace. Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, Behold, in my dream I stood on the bank of the river. Suddenly 7 cows came up out of the river, fine-looking and fat, and they fed in the meadow. Then behold, 7 other cows came up after them, poor and very ugly and gaunt, such ugliness as I have never seen in all the land of Egypt. And the gaunt and ugly cows ate up the first 7, the fat cows. When they had eaten them, no one would have known they had eaten them, for they were just as ugly as at the beginning. So I awoke and fell asleep again. Again, I saw in my dream, and suddenly 7 ears of corn came up on one stalk, full and good. Then behold, 7 ears of corn, withered, thin, and blighted by the east wind, sprang up after them. But the thin ears of corn devoured the 7 good ears. So I told all this to the interpreters, but there was no one who could explain it to me. Then Joseph said to Pharaoh, The dreams of Pharaoh are one. God has shown Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good cows are 7 years, and the 7 good ears of corn are 7 years. The dreams are one. But the 7 thin and ugly cows that came up after them are 7 years, and the 7 empty heads blighted by the east wind are 7 years of famine. This is the thing I have spoken to Pharaoh. God has shown Pharaoh what he is about to do. Indeed, 7 years of great plenty will come throughout all the land of Egypt. But after them 7 years of famine will arise, and all the plenty will be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine will deplete the land. So the plenty will not be known in the land because of the famine following, for it will be very severe. Now the dream was repeated to Pharaoh twice, because the thing is established by God, and God will shortly bring it to pass. Now therefore, let Pharaoh select a sensible and intelligent man, and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint governors over the land, to collect 1/5 of the produce of the land of Egypt in the 7 plentiful years. So let them gather all the food of the 7 good years that are coming, and store up grain under Pharaoh's authority, and let them keep food in the cities. That food shall then be as a reserve in the land for the 7 coming years of famine in the land of Egypt, that the land may not perish during the famine. Now this advice was good in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of all his servants. Thus Pharaoh said to his servants, Can we find such a man as this, who has the Spirit of God in him? Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, Inasmuch as God has shown you all this, there is no one as sensible and intelligent as you. You shall be over my house, and all my people shall be ruled according to your word. Only in regard to the throne will I be greater than you." So Pharaoh said to Joseph, "See, I have set you over all the land of Egypt." Then Pharaoh took the signet ring off his hand and put it on Joseph's hand, and he clothed him in garments of fine linen and put a gold chain around his neck. Then he had him ride in the second of his chariots, and they cried out before him, "Bow the knee." So he set him over all the land of Egypt. Pharaoh also said to Joseph, "I am Pharaoh, and without your consent no man may lift his hand or foot in all the land of Egypt." Then Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zaphnath-Paaneah, and he gave him as a wife Asenath, the daughter of Potiphera, priest of On. Now Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh king of Egypt. Then Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh and went throughout all the land of Egypt. Now in the 7 plentiful years the ground brought forth abundantly. So he gathered up all the food of the 7 years of prosperity in the land of Egypt, and stored the food in the cities. He laid up in every city the food of the fields that surrounded them. Joseph gathered very much grain, as the sand of the sea, until he stopped counting, for it was immeasurable. Now 2 sons were born to Joseph before the years of famine came, whom Asenath, the daughter of Potiphera, priest of On, bore to him. Joseph called the name of his firstborn Manasseh. "For God has made me forget all my troubles and all my father's house." And the name of the second he called Ephraim. "For God has caused me to be fruitful in the land of my humiliation." Then the 7 years of plenty in the land of Egypt ended, and the 7 years of famine began to come, as Joseph said. The famine was in all lands, but in all the land of Egypt there was bread. So when all the land of Egypt was famished, the people cried to Pharaoh for bread. Then Pharaoh said to all the Egyptians, "Go to Joseph, whatever he says to you do." The famine was over all the face of the earth, and Joseph opened all the storehouses and sold to the Egyptians. Then all countries also came to Joseph in Egypt to buy grain, because the famine was severe in all the earth.